We are living through the single greatest transformation in automotive history. The shift to electric vehicles isn't just coming, it's here. In 2026, the market is saturated with options, from 300-mile budget hatchbacks to 1,000-horsepower luxury sedans. But with this new technology comes new anxieties. You're no longer worried about transmissions or spark plugs. Today the homework is different. Buyers are asking, how long will this battery actually last? And will the software crash when I'm on the highway? We dive into the data so you don't have to. Automotive research is evergreen, but in 2026, navigating the hype cycle of new EV tech is a full-time job. You deserve to make an empowered decision. You don't want a vehicle that will lose 30% of its range in 3 years, or one that becomes a brick during a software update. Today we are focusing on research. We've synthesized owner reports, recall data, and long-term testing trajectories to identify 5 specific EVs that, based on current evidence, you should cross off your list if you are buying in 2026. Legacy automakers have been playing catch-up, and while their 2026 models might be flawless, the vehicles based on their first-generation dedicated architectures, roughly 2021 through 2024 production, are now 3 to 5 years old. And the data trajectory is concerning. The primary issue here isn't range, it's severe, persistent software instability. In 2026, early owners are reporting cascading system failures that disable basic functions like climate control, backup cameras, and even the ability to accept a DC fast charge. While over-the-air or OTA updates should fix this, users report a fractured ecosystem where one patch fixes the radio but breaks the navigation, suggesting an architecture that was rushed to market. Furthermore, we are tracking a highly abnormal spike in 12-volt accessory battery failures on these platforms. In an EV, when the 12V dies, the whole car dies. This isn't just a nuisance, it's a design failure that leaves owners stranded unexpectedly. If you are shopping for a used EV in 2026, buying a 2022 model from this lineage is a massive gamble, as these issues appear to be embedded in the physical hardware that manages the electrical architecture. In 2026, the market is flooded with new players from around the globe promising premium features for budget prices. It's incredibly enticing. However, research into the long-term viability of their battery management systems is almost non-existent. We are tracking disturbing preliminary data regarding catastrophic hardware failures in their earliest production runs. Reports filed with regulatory bodies indicate critical vulnerabilities in the Integrated Charging Control Unit, ICCU, and the battery's internal wiring harness connector. By 2026, the problem isn't theoretical. We're seeing used inventory hitting the market with significant numbers of full battery pack replacements already on their Carfax report. A replacement under warranty is fine, but are you confident the startup will still be operating its service network by 2030? In 2026, buying a used vehicle from an Unproven brand whose tech is already failing is a recipe for a 6-figure paperweight. If you buy this car, you aren't buying a vehicle, you are investing in a 3-year-old experiment. This is a difficult one to criticize because this vehicle family single-handedly democratized EV ownership. In 2026, you can buy a used 5-year-old model for a bargain price. It's reliable, simple, and comfortable. The risk, however, is accelerated battery degradation. This lineage famously relied on passive air cooling for its high-voltage battery pack rather than the active liquid cooling that is now the industry standard. This design decision in early to mid-2020s production means the battery has zero protection against environmental heat or the heat generated by repetitive DC fast charging. In 2026, we are analyzing 4- and 5-year-old data from hot climate states. These vehicles are showing outliers of 30 to 45% range loss on the original pack. That 150-mile commuter car is now an 80-mile risk that you cannot trust on the highway. What's worse, without active thermal management, its fast charging speeds are severely throttled after just one session, making road trips almost impossible. Even if a 2026 budget version exists, you must verify the cooling technology or risk a car that ages twice as fast as its peers. If you are buying a premium EV in 2026, you want craftsmanship and prestige. This vehicle, whose platform debuted around 2020, delivered that in spades when new. The driving dynamics are legendary. The risk is that this vehicle represents the absolute pinnacle of first-generation complexity. By 2026, these complex systems are now aging. The primary research indicates widespread, cascading electronic component failures that are not simple OTA fixes. We're tracking data points of unresolvable 12-volt brick scenarios, widespread air suspension failures that cost more than a budget car to repair, and failures in the highly complex dual-motor rear axle assembly. While an EV generally has lower maintenance costs, this platform in 2026 is an outlier. Owners are finding that out-of-warranty repairs are astronomical because of how specialized and tightly integrated the components are. This is a brilliant car when new, but in 2026, you are buying a ticking financial time bomb of early adapter complexity. This is the best-selling EV on Earth. In 2026, the used market is absolutely saturated with them. It's ubiquitous, the charging network is legendary, and the software is, frankly, unbeatable. Why avoid it? You are not avoiding the car. You are avoiding its catastrophic repairability scores. The model trajectory we are following, especially those built with the first generations of gigacasting, has been designed for efficient manufacturing, not for efficient service. By 2026, insurers are totaling these vehicles for minor rear-end accidents because the structural casting cannot be safely repaired. Furthermore, as the brand shifted and matured, early versions used specific, non-interchangeable components, especially the earliest motors and proprietary battery connectors, that are now in extremely short supply, even within their own network. In 2026, just because there are millions of this car on the road, don't assume that means repair parts are cheap or available. You risk buying a 2022 model and finding out that a simple motor sensor failure takes 6 months to source, because the factory switched standards, leaving a multi-year gap in component support. In 2026, true reliability isn't just not breaking, it's being fixable when it does. To be absolutely clear, electric vehicles on average are demonstrating incredible long-term reliability. We are not telling you to avoid EVs. We are telling you that in 2026, you cannot blindly buy based on hype. The risks are changing. It's no longer about will it catch fire? Which is incredibly rare. The risks in 2026 are, will the company survive? Is the component software a broken mess? And is the battery design inherently flawed? Your homework now requires checking data from the lineage of that platform. If you want the deepest dives into EV data and empowering, non-hyped advice, make sure you are subscribed. Let us know in the comments, which model are you tracking with concern? We'll check the data. Thanks for watching. See you in the future.